It all started at Texas, with Kellen Sheff winning, then Quentin Sheff winning the next two races. And we saw chaos after that. The next multi-time winner was Cam Reich. All those winners this year have led up to this race. It's the championship race from Germany. The winners before the first Germany race could not race, and we saw Andre Schreiner win, and Schreiner was the only one to race at that. Was the only one to actually win here before this race. We have seen the likes of Nick Green winning championships, Pat Green winning championships. We've even seen Carson Cole win a few championships. Grady Broughton won the season 26 championship. He is back into the championship race today, looking for championship number 2. Austin Horner's sister, Lily Horner, looking for championship number 1. And who's going to win the season 36 championship? We saw in this race last year, Braden Mills win it. It's going to be all chaos here today. The drivers on points that made the playoffs were Bailey Winstead, Riley Poindexter, Jordan Spencer, and Nolan Farley. It's time to see where your favorite drivers are starting here from Germany. Hang on a second. And when we say the starting line, we will say where they won at this year. Starting on the pole, driving in this number 77, the Long Beach winner, it's Nate Rowell. Starting in second, driving in the number 18. Starting in second, driving in the number 18. The Brands Hatch winner, it's Ryan Calloway. Starting in third, the Brickyard 400 winner, driving in the 10, it's Maya Dimmick. Starting in fourth, driving in the 16, the winner from Watkins Glen and Dubai, his name is Cam Reich. Starting in fifth, driving in the 83 this weekend in the championship race, he won at the Daytona Road Course. His name is Luke Dockery. Starting in sixth, driving in the 60, making it in on points, it's Bailey Winstead. Starting in seventh, driving the 65, the winner from Kern County, it's Landon Gilliott. Starting in eighth, the winner from Sonoma, driving in the 51, it's Nolan Vernango. He's back for RMG Racing. Starting in ninth, driving the number 12 for Team Penske. He is staying with his team, different number. We should watch him. It's Nolan Farley. Starting in 10th, driving in the number 29. The season 26 champion and the Hoosier Grand Prix winner, Grady Broughton. Starting in 11th, the regular season champion in the 42, Jordan Spencer. Starting in 12th, driving in the 38. Made it in on points once again, it's Riley Poindexter. Starting in 13th, driving the 63, won the second and third race of the year, it's Quentin Sheff. Starting in 14th, last week's winner on Road America, number 9, Lily Horner. Starting in 15th, the Texas winner, the Texas Motor Speedway winner, the first race of the year, it's Kellen Sheff. Starting in 16th, she won it earlier this year, driving her own car in the 50. She won at Spa. It's Leodine. Starting in 17th, driving the 47. He's been so good out of the country. The Monza winner. It's Kwame Raider, and starting in last, driving in the number 17 this weekend. That's going to be, hang on a second. Oh, we know that there is a driver. Starting in 18th, the Germany winner, driving the 17. She won this race earlier this year. She should be the one to watch for. It's Andre Schreiner. Folks, it's about time we see the green flag. Everybody's on their feet one last time in Germany. We are about to crown a champion in season 36. Who will it be? 35 champions. We're about to go to 36. For the final time this year, we are underway. This time it's the championship race. We are underway in Germany. Here goes Reich, down to the inside, look at the 10, round the top, that's Dimmick. You already see some chaos happening in the back. Nate Rao, 3 wide, the 18 is there as well. Callaway, he's been good at this track before. Callaway wants the lead, and it's side by side for the lead. The Long Beach winner wants the championship. Nate Rao has the lead on lap number 1. We have seen so much side-by-side racing in this field at this track. Don't count out the 12. Horner trying to make it 3 wide. That's Lily Horner. She does. Great run by Horner. Schreiner is in last. That's the 17. But while that's happening, we go back up front. It's the 77 of Nate Rao who leads. Remember, 3 laps here. That's a long time on this big racetrack. But in these cars, it doesn't take a while. Why? Because they're having such fun. But we know we will see chaos. Nate Rao, Ryan Callaway, and Cam Wright top 3. Dimmick there in 4th. This is what everybody wanted to see. A championship race getting down to the nitty-gritty. The 77 has the lead. This race consists of the best drivers. When the CSKL officials made the rule that the last race of the year will be the championship race, only one race to decide the champion, every fan said that was the best idea. And it even made it even better when it's here in Germany. Why? Because it's a championship race of the best drivers. There's a rumor that this track will only be raced here in the championship race. That could be something. Here comes the 18 to the outside. He has the inside. It's side by side, not anymore. Now it's going to be side by side for second. Here comes Reich to the inside. Reich is going to take second away. Here comes the 18. The 18 around the top. Great run, still side by side. This race also has sorts of an all-star race feel to it too. Why? Because all these drivers are all great racers this year, all all-stars. Here comes a 10. Remember, she won the Brickyard. Yeah, she won the Brickyard race. She's been so good. She won the Brickyard 600. Dimick there. Back and forth, but how about Riken in third, 18 in second? Remember, we saw yet another boring race at Long Beach this year. Why? I don't know, but we know for a fact that race is going to be back on the schedule next year. We will probably see a couple new tracks entering the schedule next year. Why? Because of this track only being raced in the championship race. Which means everybody can just mark on their calendars Germany. And remember, these drivers did not have practice today. One less chaotic race next year. This track is not on the schedule, only for the championship race though next year. Not 2 races though. We don't know the full schedule, but once the full schedule comes out, that's going to be interesting as the 18 slides. The 18 slides through the corner, and now it's closing back in on the leaders. And now it's closing back in on the leader, not the leaders, just the leader itself. Callaway, Rao, Reich, and Dimmick. Top 4, but it's Nate Rao who leads, looking for his first career championship. The 18, great run through that corner. He goes low. The 60 goes into the wall. They all slide behind him. Farley into the wall, but Quentin Chef goes around. Quentin Chef goes around through the corner. And Nate Rao continues to lead as the 18 runs on the apron. He's slow. Massive damage for the 18. Not massive damage, but massive run by the 18 there. Back in 11th, that's the 12. As Quentin Chef is finally going back under his own power. Way back though, that pretty much takes Quentin Chef out of contention to win the championship race. But remember, anything can happen in the next 2 laps. When they cross the line, it will be 2 laps to go. Remember, they still have a while before they get to the start-finish line. And the 18 is right back to the leader. As it will be very interesting to see who's going to win here in the championship race. Through these few corners here, it's a 77 who leads. And we're getting to some high-speed corners now, and that could help the 18 out a lot. Here comes the 18. Great run by Ryan Callaway. Callaway has been good at this racetrack, so we're not shocked to see him running up front. I mean, take a look at Ryan Callaway in his recent years here. And may I remind you too, he is not returning next year. Michaela Winstead will drive the 24, as Ryan Callaway is not returning next year. Renenga will be in the 12 full-time next year as well. We have already seen Nolan Farley sign full-time for 2 more years, and that is going to be the case. There's a rumor that Nate Rao might be out of the ride. out of a ride next year, or maybe somebody else. We will have to see. That's going to be very interesting through the offseason. We see the 18 there. He goes low. It's side by side for the lead. Leaders side by side. It looks like that. Oh, it looks like that there are mandatory pit stops, which means they are pitting, which means the 51, Nolan Renango takes the lead on lap 2. We saw pit stops happen before. Most of the leaders making pit stops now. That should go quick. Nolan Renango leads on lap 2 with 2 laps to go. Actually, yeah. Half the field has came down pit road. Will we see the 63 pit? Yes. Half the field is on pit road. You see the 77 right there now. He's going to be leaving pit road. The only position change out of pit road was the 10 and the 16. The 10 gets around the 16 and is now in good position here. And since we have pretty much 2 full laps, we still have a long way to go. And we see the 10 there closer to the 18 this time than your leader. You see the 51 still on the main racetrack. About to enter. He is about to enter the street course section. The 38, I think that is Riley Poindexter right behind him. Yeah, it is. Poindexter is in third. Drivers that will have to make a pit stop this lap: Renango, Poindexter, Lindsey Horner, Aaliyah Dean, Andre Schreiner, and Kwame Rader. Everybody else has made a pit stop. Now the 18 has pulled away from the 10. But things are going to get very interesting as the laps continue to wind down, as time continues to wind down. The 63 is back on the racetrack. About Nolan Farley there in 14th. Here we go, over the hill. Here comes the 51 right there, and that is Nolan Renango. Renango leads, but here comes Poindexter. Poindexter wants the lead. She goes high, she goes low. They kind of had a crossover. Almost the same thing we saw Ryan Calloway do Nathan Rockhill do to Lily Horner in race 1, but this time they don't flip in the air. Remember, in race 1, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Lily Horner and Nathan Rockhill went side by side through that corner, and Rockhill turned down, the 9 went hard into the wall, and the 21 flipped. That's what I'm talking about. Now the 77 is there in position, the 18 and the 10 there as well. Side by side battle. Here comes the 83 now on the 16. The 83 slides. That's Luke Dockery. Dockery having a good run right now. How will the 18 do? Will he close the gap on Nate Brown? Poindexter has the lead on lap number 2 still. We still have a long time in this race. We will continue to watch this battle back here as the 18 tries to close back in on the 77, but Nate Rao has the lead. Anything can and will happen here in Germany. The 18 trying to close the gap back on the leader. Back on the 7th place driver. and is just a bit. It was 2 seconds, now it's a 1 second advantage. Great run. Great runs by the 77 and the 18. Callaway, remember, he's been so good at this racetrack. Now we are back onto the fast sections of this racetrack. Here comes the 51. The leaders are still running right together. The 51 off the track. He goes low. It's side by side. They're going to go side by side through this corner, I think. They are. The 38 will lose second. What a run by the 9. Horner is there. Loses second, almost loses control of her race car. Here comes the 77. The 77 now in position right here, but the 18 might be closing that gap. The 18 might be closing that gap big time now on the 77. Nate Rao is there. He does not run off the racetrack. Let's watch the 83 and 16 battle, because this is one of the biggest battles on the track. You see Dockery going through the dirt. Dockery through the dirt. It's still a 2 second advantage from Rao to the 18. That is really intriguing. But remember, we still have 2.5 laps remaining here in Germany. That could all change as the 18 is trying to close the gap back in on the 77. But right now, your leader is Nolan Vernengo over the 9 of Lily Horner. Here comes Horner. Horner, great run on the inside, the 18 around the outside. There's still a bunch of fast corners left to go at this racetrack. And the 77's gap in front of the 18 has stabilized from a 1 to 2 second gap. Like, the 18 is not closing the gap, but we have a side-by-side battle for the lead. The 9 gets off the track, she gets sideways, and it's side-by-side for second. Here comes the 38. They go side-by-side, but the 9 continues to have second. The 77 still has 7th right now. The next question is, will the leaders pit? If the leaders don't pit, then they will be the battle to win. But I expect the top 6 to pit here. If we have any more pit stops, like other than the top 6, that will be very interesting. The 10 has closed in big time on the 18. But the 18 isn't really closing in on the 77. As it's Nolan Vernengo who leads in Germany. He's staying out. A lead team there. CSKL officials have did mention though, you don't have to pit. This is a final lap here in the championship race. Drivers making pit stops for some reason, drivers staying out for some reason. And we have a battle behind the 77. Can we see the Horners win a championship in the odd number seasons? That's a good question because the 9 is there. The 9, the 51, and the 38. It's going to be a battle between Vernengo Horner, and Poindexter. We know for a fact that if Vernango wins this championship, this will be very controversial. May I remind you all too, Nolan Vernango is a past champion. He won the season 20 championship, and we are in season 36. Back in season 34, Austin Horner picked up his first career championship. Austin Horner is here at this racetrack, but watching his sister. Is Lily Horner going to carry the momentum from last week to this week and win the championship? Things are getting wild. There were no mandatory pit stops. That is what everybody knows. So, even though the top three did not make a pit stop, they will not be penalized. There are no penalties for the championship race. Strategy is coming into play here. 3 laps. And this is the final lap here in Germany. Lily Horner, they're in second. Poindexter, they're in third. It's just a battle between the top 3. Here comes Horner. She wants to make a move. She's there. She goes high. She stays high. And the 9 is there. Here comes the 38. If the 51 runs off the track, the 38 will be there to take advantage. Or if the 9 gets off the track, like right there, but she stays side by side. And then the 9 will fall back to second, but for how long? Here comes 38. Poindexter slides. She gets sideways. Here comes the 9. Lily Horner being aggressive on lap 3 in the championship race. We still have a long time left before we see that checkered flag. Vernango. You know what? We saw a lot of fans saying, but too, that this might be a controversial win. I say might, because he is still a fan favorite. If he wins the championship race, I think he will become the first champion in CSKL history to only run a limited amount of races, not full-time. He is not a full-time driver. Nolan Vernango, not a full-time driver this year, but next season he will be. He is going to drive the Team Penske number 12 next season. Things are getting down to it. The top 3 did not pit. And guys, this is the final lap. It's Vernango, it's Horner, and it's Poindexter. This track causes chaos. And we are seeing chaos here. The 9 is getting really antsy right now. She wants the championship. So does Poindexter. Poindexter is there. She wants second. Here comes the 38. Fast. Horner's leads the 9 to close back in on the 51. Here comes Horner. Horner there. Dre run by Horner. Here comes the 38 as well. Horner side by side with the 51. And they're going to go side by side through this corner as well. The 51 there. The 9 gets off the track. Horner loses spots. Here comes the 38. And now it's the championship battle between the 51 and the 38. Is Poindexter going to steal the championship race here in Germany? Is she going to steal one again? You know what? She's been close. many times this year, did not win a race. We saw Lily Horton win last week. This has to be heartbreaking for the 9 if she doesn't end up winning this race. We will see some really fast corners ahead, and it's going to be very interesting to see if the 38 is able to get around the 51. We still have good corners up next, and some high-speed corners and high-speed straightaways too. This track is not all braking. Like, there's a lot of high-speed corners that they race around. They go flat out on a few corners. This race is getting down to it. Vernango and Poindexter 1 and 2. Here it comes a high-speed straightaway in a corner now. Sharp corner. And the 38 is still there. The 9 is trying to make a move back for second, but she is not able to right now, as Poindexter still runs in second. Here comes the 38. High speed corner. Poindexter there. She goes low. And it's side by side for the lead. Poindexter. Vernango. Vernango has been so good when keeping the lead. He's gonna keep the lead. Poindexter goes around. Aggressive goes around. Now the 9 has to try to find her way back up front. Is it too little too late? That's the question. Final time. Here comes the 9. Oh my goodness, she was 7 tenths back. She's 4 tenths back. 3 tenths back. And she is closing. The 9 is there. Here comes Horner. The moment the fans came and stayed for to crown a champion in season 36. Vernango, the season 20 champion. Horner won last week. Horner slides. She goes around. She tries to take the lead, but she can't. Nolan Vernango, season 20 and now season 36. Multi-time champion for Nolan Vernango. What a finish. He holds off the 9. Vernango holds off the 9 and wins the season 36 championship. What a race from Germany. We didn't see that many wrecks all up until the final lap. I can tell you, if the 9 hadn't gotten loose, she would have made it side by side and maybe, just maybe, would have won the championship. Horner comes up short. But Nolan Vernango wins the season 36 championship.